soluble. And if a poison is soluble, it's no longer poison. It leaves the body through the urine. For example, lead, cadmium, and all sorts of carcinogen.
We would raise glutathione levels in an emergency setting in people who are suffering from certain overdoses. And what the glutathione would do in that case is allow the person to get rid of these toxins themselves from their body. Now, I knew that this was good in acetaminophen overdose, but what most people don't understand is that glutathione is also critical for getting rid of heavy metals like mercury, like lead, like pesticides, like herbicides, like the breakdown products of cigarette smoke and automobile exhaust, and a dozen other well-recognized carcinogens in our environment.
It's almost impossible to overstate the importance of having good glutathione levels. In fact, you have to have glutathione in your cells to stay alive. But ironically, living in today's world can lead to reduced levels of glutathione. You see, your body uses glutathione to handle the effects of stress and fatigue, pollution, illness, and even aging. That's why it's important to replenish or raise and sustain your glutathione levels. Now, if you're like most people, this is probably the first time you've heard of glutathione, and you may be surprised to learn that scientists have known about glutathione and its direct connection to health and wellness for many years.
There's so much research and so much material coming out on glutathione that it won't be very long before your doctor is going to be drawing a glutathione level the same way he or she draws a cholesterol level or a sugar level. And people are going to be raising their glutathione levels in the same way that they take vitamin pills every day, in the same way that they brush their teeth every day.
It's been increasingly clear to scientists that the secrets to true health and longevity can usually be traced to the immune system. It was also long believed that there was virtually nothing that could be done to repair or rebuild the innate immune system set at birth in what amounted to a genetic roll of the dice. But it was later found that a second immune system, the adaptive immune system, was strongly affected by nutrition. Almost from the day we're born, the environment bombards our bodies and weakens our systems at a rate that practically amounts to either germ or chemical warfare. Air pollution, industrial spills and wastewater, dozens of diseases that may affect us from a food chain that is contaminated with steroids and antibiotics, pesticides and chemical fertilizers, the modern fast food junk food diet, being overweight and all the complications that come with it now occurs in epidemic proportions. All of this brings challenges to the human immune system that we might never have imagined 100 years ago. Traditional supplements and pile-on health technologies have been largely unsuccessful at protecting us, and science has always been challenged as to how to naturally reinforce our immune systems. But for the true scientific visionary, challenges form the doorways to discovery. And having the knowledge that there is an untapped element, a key ingredient waiting to be discovered, only spurs innovation. That untapped element comes in the form of a small, naturally occurring molecule called glutathione.
Science has known about glutathione probably for over 100 years. It's just that until recently we haven't had a good way of raising glutathione levels safely and naturally. Now, we have drugs that raise glutathione, but just like so many other drugs, they have a lot of side effects. Things like N-acetylcysteine. Very often people that take it don't like the way they feel, nausea or vomiting. The other problem with most of these drugs is they have what's called a short half-life. In other words, after you take it, it hangs around for a few hours and then it's gone. In order to raise glutathione levels throughout the day, you'd have to take these medications 2, 3, or even 4 times a day. And if you felt sick the first time you took it, you're going to feel 4 times as sick the 4th time you take it. And when we're looking at something like Immunical, we're talking about natural protein that has an effect sustained over the entire day without side effects.
In our body, glutathione is the ultimate antioxidant. In fact, it is the most important, most active antioxidant that our cells manufacture to protect from our own internal destruction. Essentially, when we get sick, grow old, and die, one common factor can be seen: oxidizing of our cells and tissues. That means that our level of oxidation, or free radicals, is causing us virtually to rust out. When we do that, our body's defense system becomes increasingly weak. We fall prey to foreign invasion by toxins and antigens in the form of viruses, bacteria, chemical agents, and more. If these antigens are not effectively cleared out by our immune system, our bodies will inevitably be affected by either not feeling well, full-blown illness, or worst-case scenario, death. When glutathione is at high levels, it can raise our immune system's awareness and enable the body's frontline defenses to arrest these antigens and drive them from the body, restoring its health, vitality, youth, and longevity. Elevated glutathione levels have been linked to optimizing the immune system, which supports prevention and recovery from a long list of health challenges, from the common cold to feeling tired all the time, even to the aging process itself. That's how important glutathione is to the human system. Most infants and small children have strong glutathione-rich immune systems. But time, environment, stress, and lifestyle tend to wear away at the glutathione levels we have. It became clear that cysteine was the limiting factor in the human body's ability to produce glutathione. So finding an outside source of bioavailable cysteine would be the key that turned the lock.
Cysteine is an amino acid which is not only a precursor of proteins, but also a precursor of the small molecule glutathione. And other laboratories, including our laboratory at the National Cancer Research Center in Heidelberg, had shown already in the late 70s and early 80s that glutathione is very important for all kinds of physiological processes, and particularly for the functioning of the immune system. By the end of the 80s, of 1988, we even found that HIV-infected patients were strongly deficient in cysteine and glutathione, suggesting that that may actually be part of the reason why these patients are unfortunately so immunodeficient. And subsequently, in the late 90s, we found that seemingly healthy subjects, seemingly healthy persons, show declining levels of cysteine and glutathione in the course of aging, suggesting the possibility that this decline had an important role in aging.
The main function of the immune system is to keep anything out of your body that's not supposed to be there. This anything we call an antigen. An antigen can be a virus, an antigen can be a bacteria, an antigen can be a fungus, an antigen can even be a tumor cell. Let's look at something as commonplace as a virus. See, when a virus gets into your bloodstream, one of the first things that'll happen is that our frontline soldiers of the immune system, something called a white blood cell, will see that this virus is there and try to do something about it. One of the things that the white blood cell might do is actually try to gobble up that virus. Now, the problem is we're not just talking about one virus. In 15 or 20 minutes, you might be flooded with hundreds and thousands, maybe millions of viruses, but you only have so many white blood cells. So the way that we fight off an infection is the white blood cells themselves will make clones called monoclonal expansion in an effort to overwhelm the enemy. Now, this is what Dr. Bunos pointed out so wonderfully and so eloquently 25 years ago, that there are many key factors that a white blood cell needs to perform its job. One of these critical elements is its supply of glutathione. If you start running low on glutathione, your ability to fight off infection becomes blunted. People with severe or ongoing infections very often will start dropping their glutathione levels. Replacing glutathione becomes extremely important.
Glutathione. Now, who has not heard of that word before tonight? There's still a lot of people raising your hands. And it wasn't that long ago